Welcome back. Today we are talking about something that I'm actually really excited about because it's the three pillars framework. Now, you've probably never heard of three pillars framework. That's because it's something that I built while working with my tech teams and just kind of became a thing that slowly built and grew over the years. Listen, are you tired of working really hard and not getting any forward momentum? That kind of like a fish on dry land, you're flopping around and making a bunch of noise, but you're not going anywhere. If you recognize that struggle in your personal life, your career, your goals, understand you're not alone. That feeling of overwhelming, unproductive chaos is exactly how I felt starting off in my leadership roles. I realized I lacked a foundation and a structure in order to help others and help myself. So today, let's get you back in the water so you can actually go forward. We're going to talk about the three pillars framework. Three pillars framework is people, proficiency, and process. Now, it used to be something else. Again, I started it off with IT, but just like any good framework, it grew and adapted to what my needs were and the needs of my team. This framework is not about working hard. It's about bringing balance and control so you can actually move towards a lasting success. Now, we'll deep dive into each of these pillars in the coming weeks. But today, we're going to jump right into an overview of each pillar, give you a taste, see whether you like it. I'm Matt, and this is what matters. So what are the three pieces that build this foundation? The three pillars framework is made up of three equal and essential pillars. They are interdependent. Think of it like a stool or a triangle, the three legs of a stool, 3 points of a triangle. If one side is weak, then the whole structure, in this case your success, will fall down. So let's talk about the first pillar, people. This is your relational capital, meaning this is all about relationships. This is about how you interact with people, the trust you build, the empathy you show, the safety that you create when you're dealing with others. And by others, I literally mean any person that you interact with, from peers to friends to coworkers to supervisors to any of the people that you run into. They're the stranger down the street. Every person that you interact with, this is a part of the people pillar. How we interact and what we do and communicate with these individuals. This is your network, your collaboration, your team. This is your family. This is everything. For me, the people pillar is extremely important, and I like to start with it because you cannot have a business, you cannot have existence without other people. And understanding how you fit in with others and how you interact is important. And that's why I always start with the people pillar. But let's move on. So the second pillar is proficiency. This is your skill capital. This is everything you do, everything you know, and how good you are at doing it, right? This is partly your inner fire, the passion for doing things, to see a goal accomplished, to see a problem solved, those type of things. Proficiency is important because it's in everything that we literally do. From everything that you have to do, that need, versus the things that you want to do. Becoming proficient is just part of continuous growth, and that is something that you're going to hear me talk about a lot on this channel, because if you're not growing, you're stagnant. And like I said before, being stagnant is not what life is about. So the third pillar is process. This is your structural capital. Now, this used to be a completely different thing. I only recently changed it to process because I used to call it paperwork, because paperwork is process, but I just kept hearing over and over the collective groan of my team whenever I would say, hey, paperwork, because we all loathe paperwork. Well, most of us, not everybody. But process is bigger than paperwork. And when we look at process, we're talking about how we get things done in an organized fashion, the framework that we're talking about is a process. And process is what anchors us when everything else is chaotic. Process is where we can turn to and be like, I don't know the next step. Here's the next step. It's listed out because we documented, we wrote it down, and we had a process. But process is also, again, part of paperwork, meaning, hey, I've got to get my taxes done on time. That's paperwork and process. How do we do it? I need to get my driver's license. I need to apply for a visa, whatever it may be. These are things that fall under the process pillar. And it's about how we do things in an organized fashion. And one last thing, it is not just about being organized and following the rules. It's about creating peace of mind. It's about creating predictability, making things a little bit easier in a chaotic world that we all live in. Now, I know I said 3 pillars, but for me, there's one tenet, one rule that flows through all 3 that is so important, and it's communication. And communication is going to get its own topic at a later date as we talk about it, but you're going to hear me talk about communication in every pillar because it is so important and it helps tie everything together. It's the glue between each of these pillars. Why is it important that we focus on 3 pillars? Why do I say 3 pillars instead of 2? Well, 2 creates balance, 3 creates stability. And think of it like this. You are the smartest person in the room, and you are great at the process. You know how everything is done. You are organized, and you're in the room. Now you have to present all of that to a room full of people, but you don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to read your audience. You don't know how to communicate. So now you're struggling, right? No, let's go in a different route. You're great with process. You're organized. You've got everything put together. You are great with people. People love you. They love having the little water cooler talks beside you. They want to hear from you, but yet you just can't always quite get the job done because your proficiency is failing. You're just not quite up to par. It's a weakness, right? So how do we become stronger? We work on each of the pillars that we're weak against, but we don't let any of the other ones fall behind either. Continuous growth. Remember that, continuous growth. To be truly well-rounded is the goal here. And by being well-rounded, you're kind of breaking the busy but broke cycle. The fish on dry land, busy but broke. That's the goal, is to break that cycle. Okay, so let's kind of briefly talk about what we are going to dive into in the next couple of weeks. First, like I said, we'll start with the people pillar. We're going to talk about meeting expectations and setting expectations. That's it. We'll talk about it. Hopefully it will help you in how you deal with your family, your coworkers, your friends. This is about not only being professional, this is about showing reliability and helping build those relationships. Now for proficiency, we're going to talk about 3 main things. We're going to talk about problem solving. We're going to talk about critical thinking. We're going to talk about continuous growth, like we already said earlier, because that is the huge part of proficiency, is learning how to continually grow, because that's how you get better. And that's what this pillar is about. For process, we're going to talk about what we've already said, paperwork. We're going to talk about documentation. We're going to talk about time management. These are a few of the things we're going to talk about. Hopefully it'll help you not stop just managing tasks, start managing goals. The journey to being truly successful or be on that path to excellence that we all look for starts now. If you're tired of leaving success to chance and you're ready to start building a solid foundation, then tune in next time. Like I said, next week we're going to talk about the people pillar. And again, I'm excited about it. I hope you are too, because this is my favorite pillar. I know they're all equal, but I love the people pillar. And it might actually be broken down in 2 episodes because, once again, communication takes a lot all unto itself in each of these pillars. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Matt, and this is what matters.